Okay, we'll get started. So we're really excited to have you here today to discuss Google Ad Grants. I've personally used Google Ad Grants for over 15 years to help nonprofits significantly increase their visibility and awareness of their mission and programs. And I'm pleased that Carlos, the founder of Blue Tusk, a Google certified agency, is joining us today. He's helped VisionServe Alliance maximize our grant. So we're spending about $10,000 a month, the maximum amount, on campaigns. And Blue Tusk also works with other organizations, including many nonprofits in the US and across the globe. Carlos is going to share more about Google Ad Grants, how they work, and how they can support your mission. And then VisionServe Alliance is thrilled to help members who don't yet have a Google Ad Grant to apply for one and secure one. And then for members who already have a grant, if you'd like, we can also provide through Carlos's team a discounted rate on Google Ad Grants management services. So he'll tell you again a lot about that. I'll jump in from time to time. If you have any questions as Carlos is going through his presentation, please add them into the Q&A, and then we'll cover as many of those as we complete the presentation. So thank you, Carlos. Take it away.
Perfect. Thank you, Sue. So as Sue stated, the first thing we're going to do is I'll share my screen and go over the proposal as far as what you guys are going to be able to get from working with us, specifically at the discounted rate. And we're also going to talk a little bit about what the Google Grant is, some of its limitations, and what we ultimately do here at Blue Tusk. Okay. You should be able to see my screen now. So this is going to be the proposal for everyone who's a VisionServe Alliance member. You are going to be getting 30% discount from all our services that we offer here at Blue Tusk. We'll kind of go through a couple things here right in the beginning, and then we'll kind of jump into what we call a power page. So the first thing, of course, that we're going to be able to offer for everyone is a full management of what a Google Grant is ultimately. So we'll be able to create the ads, write the ad copy, conducting the keyword research, and more. So, and the reason I wanted to mention this is because we always get a question of just how involved with the Google Grant we specifically get. So we do everything regarding the grant. And if you currently don't have a Google Grant, we actually do apply for you. And since we are a certified agency, we can actually skip the line a little bit faster since we work directly with the Google Grant team. We can apply for you and ultimately get this done a little bit faster, like I mentioned. So those are the first two things I wanted to talk about, just so we can have a nice foundation of kind of a brief summary of what are the things that we can do here, and of course, how we can help you achieve the grant or get the grant if you need it. So we'll kind of jump into what we call a power page. So in order for you, once you get this link, this proposal link, and Sue will send it to everyone after this, but you'll be able to click on this understanding power pages, which are going to take you to this demo or this link here as well. So the first thing is, if you don't know what a Google Grant is, it gives nonprofits $10,000 per month and free Google advertising credit. So I'm sure you've all have gone to Google, made a search on Google, and you see those text ads that appear at the very top or the bottom of the search results. That's exactly what a Google Grant is, or what a Google Grant ads will be. So it's all based on a bidding system. All right. So let's say you're using a specific search, like donate to nonprofits or whatever keyword you want to ultimately use. So somebody would ultimately be making that search here on Google. Then you're going to have three ads that appear at the very top. So you see the three ads here, and everything below that are organic or ads that are, of course, or just organic listings, of course. Currently, because of that new AI feature, so you're going to actually start seeing AI appear above even the ads now, and sometimes a little bit below it. But ultimately, Google Grant ads, based on the conversations we've had, should eventually also allow AI ads once those AI features start rolling out. But that will be, again, much in the future. But essentially, you're getting, again, text ads from your Google Grant. So based on the keywords that you select, you're going to have, again, those three ads, and it's based on a bidding feature or system, as I've mentioned. So let's say the number one ad here is bidding $5. The one below that is bidding $4.95, and the one right below that is bidding $4.90, right? So typically, the one who bids the higher or the most, it's going to appear, it's going to rank higher. With the Google Grant, though, there are going to be two big limitations when it comes down to it. One of them is that you cannot outbid a paid competitor. So let me explain what a paid competitor is. So every time that someone clicks on your ad, you're going to pay for that bid, right? With whatever bid amount you selected. That bid amount is either going to come out of pocket, which is a paid account, come out of your Google Grant, or you can have both. You can have a paid account or a Google Grant account. So a paid account, again, is somebody who's paying out of pocket for every time that someone clicks on that ad. Unfortunately, of course, Google is going to take, which makes perfect sense, right? They're going to take that paid competitor and rank them higher than a Google Grant. So you can see here an example where a paid competitor is bidding $1.27, $1.25, and even if you're bidding $5, they're still going to outrank you just because, of course, they're a paid account. So there's a couple things a paid account is doing typically different than a Google Grant. One of those would be they're creating smart local campaigns, utilizing something called performance max campaigns, which is great if you're trying to generate tons of brand awareness and donations. But something specifically that most of them are doing is bidding on something called bottom of the funnel keywords. And we'll kind of talk about that a little bit later into this demo. But essentially, or big organizations like St. Jude, UNICEF, they're the ones going after these bottom of the funnel keywords, and they definitely have a paid account. Okay, so we'll kind of touch about this in a little bit later, but that's the first limitation. It's the limited bidding. The second thing is the 10% search impression share. All that really means is market share. So let's say that your ads are appearing. So every keyword is going to have a different search volume depending on how popular it may be. So let's say a keyword is searched 1,000 times per month. You're going to appear roughly up to 10% of the time. Sometimes you're going to appear above that, 15, 20%, but on average, it's going to be 10%. So if again, if your keyword is searched 1,000 times, you can appear 100 times for that specific keyword. And that 100 times you're appearing or that 10% you're appearing, you're still restricted to the paid account or the limited bidding. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? You're appearing very little, and the times that you can appear, you're going against paid competitors. This is one of the main reasons why most Google Grant recipients kind of tend not to do really well, or why it can be so challenging. Because if you're going after the wrong keywords, then your ads are never going to appear for one of these reasons, or sometimes just both. So what we want to be able to do is work around those limitations. So there's a thing called a marketing funnel, right? So we have a top of the funnel, middle, and then bottom of the funnel. So bottom of the funnel is exactly where all paid competitors are going to be. Okay, so bottom of the funnel, you're typically seeing, seeking new volunteers, donations, or fundraising campaigns. You're generating new corporate sponsors. So again, it's very much a revenue generating campaigns, right? And that's why a lot of the bottom of the funnel keywords are typically going for paid accounts. Top of the funnel, it's exactly where you want to be at a Google Grant level. So these are going to be more brand awareness. So the idea is that you want to teach someone about the things that you're doing at your nonprofit. Once they click on your ad, then you have what we call a bottom of the funnel call to actions on your website. On your website, that's when you can tell them to subscribe to your newsletter, donate, participate in specific events, volunteer, or whatever other calls to actions you want to do. But that's the goal, is to really avoid as many paid competitors as possible, because obviously we really can't compete with them due to the restrictions. So again, the goal is to stick to a top of the funnel keywords, right? And doing so, we're going to, again, be able to avoid those paid competitors. That's why one of the reasons why the Google Grant, it's typically not a revenue generating program. It's a awareness program first that can lead to bottom of the funnels, all those CTAs that you need down the road and based on the strategies that you're implementing.
Yeah. And as Carlos said, you can develop, and we can help you develop a strategy to make sure that as you bring in a lot of people to your website, you are effectively, having links and buttons and ways to push them over to donate, as Carlos said, and other activities that you want them to take. So the grant is really to bring a lot of qualified people to your website, and then you have effective strategies to engage them.
Right, exactly. So then the question becomes, then, if we're only going after top of the funnel and other nonprofits who are savvy enough and are aware that they should avoid bottom of the funnel, and then it starts becoming a kind of a competition as to why would your nonprofit appear over someone else's? Well, it really comes down to quality score. So one of the things Sue and I have talked about and specifically strategized is we don't want you guys kind of competing against one another. So because we can oversee the accounts here with VisionServe, we can ultimately make sure that no one is kind of stepping on each other's toes, right? Specifically, since some of these services may overlap from one member to another. So in order for either way, though, in order for you to rank well, it comes down to quality score. So quality score is made up of three things. So one is ad relevance. That just means how well we are creating the ads, the structure, right? Landing page experience is when somebody is clicking on your ad, what website or what page are they specifically looking at? If we're taking everyone to like a home page or just an about us page, that's probably not the best landing page based on, of course, what we're trying to advertise, right? So the higher the landing page experience, the better the quality score. And expected click-through rate or expected CTR, that's all based on algorithms. So unfortunately, we can't control that. But realistically, if you have good ads, good landing page experience, and you've been running ads for a while, your expected click-through rate tends to go up. So what we do here at Blue Tusk, we want to be able to help you with both, at least two out of the three things, since that's what we can control. Of course, we want to be able to create the ads, take care of everything that you need from applying from the grant, creating the ads, the keyword research, really everything. And then landing page experience is what happens after they click on the ad, right? So being able to have good content. We'll kind of talk about that in something we call power pages, of course. But essentially, once you have a really good quality score, it just means you can outrank other competitors and it means you pay less for your bid. So if you have a quality score of 10 or even a 9, as you can see, you're paying less for the bid and you can still outrank others. So if you have a quality score of 10 and somebody has a quality score of 6 or 5, you're still outranking them, even though you're paying less for the bid. So the bid is not always the most important thing. It's a combination of bid and quality score. Of course, unless you're a paid account, then it just, we're never going to outrank them, as I mentioned. But that's kind of the how we can maximize the full 10% impression share, as I mentioned. The higher the quality score, the higher chance of you getting that full 10% as opposed to being limited to 5-6% or whatever it may be.
Yeah. And something I'll just add in is, having worked in with Google Grants for 15 years, there's been such a significant difference in the level and complexity with managing a grant. Like, you used to be able to create ads and put them up, and you would be able to spend your money, and it was a very easy process. And it's now become something that's much more sophisticated and really requires that deep research in order to look at the right keywords that'll really drive people to your website. So it's really that, again, those keywords, the ads, and then as Carlos is talking about, this quality score of just making sure that you continue to rank higher so that the $10,000 for your grant goes so much farther, right? Because if you have a quality score of a 9 or 10, you're almost doubling the value of the grant that you're using.
Correct, right. You'll be able to get much more traffic for the same 10,000 than somebody who is getting a quality score of 3 or 4 or whatever it may be, because they're paying a lot more for the same click that you're getting. So they're going to get less traffic than you are. And that's why quality score is one of the most important metrics for at least.
And if you're seeing it all, right? Like, sometimes if your
Right.
quality score is lower, you won't even be seen.
Right, exactly, 100%. So what we want to be able to do is put everything to work. So that's something we have introduced called Power Pages. So a Power Page, in simple terms, is just a landing page on your website. So it can be any page, a regular, standard page. It can be a blog, content page, whatever it may be, that has been optimized to be search engine friendly. So we can have the best website in the world, but if it's not properly done, Google's robot will never be able to crawl it correctly, which then it's going to impact your SEO, and of course, it's going to impact your ads. So having a good power page, of course, gives you long-lasting ad spend with your Google grant, because once your quality score reaches 7, 8, 9s or higher, the likelihood of that going from an 8 or 9 to a 2 or 3 is highly unlikely. So you can sustain ad spend a lot longer than others. It improves your organic SEO listings, because once you have a good power page, then yes, it's going to help you from the Google grant standpoint, but it also helps you from your SEO, because Google can now scan those websites correctly and rank you. And again, of course, you can have a better quality score, as I mentioned, and you can increase your market share or that search impression share, as I mentioned, and lower your CPC, which is great.
Yeah.
So what
And
we do,
I'll add in, sorry, so Carla, I'll add in, like, at VisionServe Alliance, as we've continued to build our grants up to that 10,000 spending a month, and as we're getting some of these power pages up to, the 8 to 10 quality score, we are definitely seeing a significant lift in our organic traffic, our non-grant account paid traffic. So through our Google search console, we can see that lift that's coming, obviously, from these grants. Like, Google is trusting us more, and they're sending more organic traffic to our website as well.
Yep, exactly. So one of the tools that we use here is called Ahrefs. So what that tool allows us to do is to find keywords that are for your nonprofit. So we scan your website, we'll look at based on what you're recommending, of course, and we're finding keywords that have a high search volume, low competition. And with those keywords, then we go and create the ads, and then you can create power pages, or we can optimize your current pages that you currently have. And I'll talk about a couple examples of power pages soon. But what we also do here is we'll be able to provide you kind of the power page framework, if you will, for certain pages. So those are called like your meta tags, your slugs, your headers. So the way that your page is constructed, we'll be able to help you optimize that. Because again, if we can create the ads, we can have the best ads, but as you've known, that's only 1/3 of your quality score. We want to be able to handle as much as we can. So again, we help you with at least telling you what your page should look like and what your header should be, so you can have a better quality score. So there are two versions of a power page. There's a short version and a long version. A short version, essentially, all it really means is a current page on your website now. Like, it can really be a program page, an about us page, any page. And all we're really doing is looking at your current pages, optimizing those pages based on the tools that we're using, so that we can get a better quality score, get a better better power page for the ads. Sometimes that also means you may have to duplicate those pages. So we do something called you unindex the page, so that way you're not flagged by Google. But essentially, you're creating a short version of your pages already, just to create or add new keywords that we need. So that's kind of again a short version. Basically, everyone kind of has this long version power pages, and that's something we're working with VisionServe here in Sue, so that we can properly be able to provide you this for all VisionServe Alliance members. So a long version power page is basically a blog or a content piece again, but it's been optimized for the Google robot. So the writing is the most important, of course. We never want to just write for the blog, write for the Google robot, but we want to make sure that at least it's written in a way that the Google robot can still find it, right, and scan it properly. So that's what we're doing. So we're working with Sue. So starting in August, we've provided already a few different blog pieces and content pieces that, if you choose to, it's already going to be ready to go. You're going to be able to embed those into your website. So you don't even have to write the content for these long version power pages. Again, you don't have to do it. If you're not interested in doing a blog or content, you can just stick to the short versions or write your own blogs or content pieces. So it doesn't have to be from VisionServe, of course, but just to save time and from your end, that's already been pre-done. And of course, both of these versions are still top of the funnel, but then you're adding some bottom of the funnel calls to actions, like subscribe to your newsletter, donate, whatever it is you're trying to do, right? That's the goal of a power page. It's you're still getting awareness, but you want to make sure you're trying to bring them over to a call to action that's meaningful. Okay. And then we'll kind of go over a couple FAQs that we, or just frequently asked questions, of course. So one of the things we always get is, can we use the grant for bottom of the funnel keywords? 100%. We always want to include these in your grant, just knowing though that the vast majority of your strategy can be focused on bottom of the funnel. Typically, maybe it's like a 70-30 split, where 30%, of course, is just for bottom of the funnel, because understanding that we really can compete as well. Do we have to create new landing pages? Again, not at all. We can just optimize the current pages on your website. If you don't have a ton of pages, then you might have to maybe duplicate them. But again, if you unindex these pages, that you don't really have to go and come up with new content. It's a little bit easier to do so. Another question we get: should the power pages have to be in a nav bar? So no, you can make it where only people from the Google Grant ads are finding these pages. A lot of our clients actually end up doing this because maybe they don't want to, have them like in these duplicate pages, or they just don't want specific blog pages coming organically. They only want it from a Google Grant. That's perfectly fine. And again, do we provide the content for the power pages? We can. That's a separate fee, but typically our clients are writing the power pages themselves. We're providing the framework, again, the meta tags, the keywords, your headers, what it should look like. That's essentially what we're helping you with, again, from the ad creation process all the way to the power page framework. Because again, we can have the best ads, but if you don't have good pages, our work can only go so far. Right?
Yeah,
So,
and as Carlos said before, we will be providing members 2 blogs, which are individual power pages a month,
correct.
so that you can start using those if you choose. Again, it's all optional, but we'll provide that content. You can get started with that to build your trust and then decide to do them yourself. So whatever permutation you decide to go with is completely fine. It's all optional.
Correct. Yep. Thank you. And then that's so this is the end of the power page demo. So we'll jump back here to the proposal. So in order for you to see the Power Pages, once you get this link, just click on this pink button here and you'll be able to get to it. So again, a couple solutions here to what it is that's included with the service we're providing here for VisionServe. So again, full management. So I wanted to make sure to always cover this again. It's everything from ad creation, keyword research, just 100%. We take care of everything there regarding the grant. If you need to apply, if you need to be reinstated, because we are certified, again, we can do this for you. All the work we do is 100% yours. Sometimes we have some agencies, the work that any work that they do, they end up deleting your account or they end up deleting the campaigns. Again, everything we do is going to be 100% yours. Custom dashboards. So every first of the month, you're going to get real-time dashboards. So you can log it into your grant. It's yours, of course, but we make this a little bit easier. So if you want to get very specific to the data, then again, these real-time dashboards are going to be available. Lead generation. So one of the things, of course, you want to do is generate traffic, but also generate leads or at least be able to get email signups. That is something we can set up for you. During the first 4 to 8 weeks, we do weekly meetings. This is completely optional. You don't have to do this, but ideally, so you can understand how the Google Grant works, what it is that we're doing. And during the setup process, we provide a weekly 15-minute meeting so that, again, you understanding what's going on. We also oversee the $1,000 Microsoft grant. So the Google grant gives $10,000. Microsoft gives $1,000. So right now it's on pause, but you should definitely, if you need help applying for this, we can do this for you. Again, it's something we provide. And then one of the biggest things is conversion tracking. So conversion tracking, of course, is that if someone is signing up to your newsletter, donating, clicking on buttons, downloading PDFs, just important actions that are done in your website, we are tracking them not only for the Google grant, but also just for your Google Analytics. So your Google Analytics, you'll be able to know how people interact with your website, and if you're unsure how people are interacting, then that's exactly why conversion tracking is so important. That's again the point of a website, so you're able to measure results based on what's going on.
Yeah.
So
And
those
I
are kind
think,
of the. Go ahead.
okay, sorry. I think during those weekly meetings, what's really important is that will give Carlos the opportunity, if you work with him, to really understand what your goals are individually
Right.
as an
Exactly.
agency, what services you want to promote, and what your short-term goals are versus your longer-term goals, because everything that would be developed would be very customized to your organization, right? None of this is turnkey. It's
Right.
all highly customized. So that initial
Exactly.
investment is really helpful to kind of, move forward most effectively and efficiently.
Yeah, exactly. So we have here the first 30 days of what to expect. So of course, you teach us about your work. So as Sue mentioned, the first thing we'll do is schedule a meeting and really learn how you like to use your Google Grant, what conversions you'll like to track, what sets you apart from other nonprofits, what it is that you're really trying to get to. So we'll schedule that and learn based off your feedback. Then we'll get an in-depth look. So what this means is that based on your, again, on what we learned, your keyword wish list. So what that means is that if you had to select 20 keywords, 25 keywords of saying, if somebody was to search for this, I would want to appear on the very top of Google. That's exactly what your wish list is. We want to find that list, of course, assess your website, take a look at similar charities, of course, and see who else is currently using the Google grant, and then create a list of recommended keywords for your account. So unfortunately, not all your keywords in your wish list will be able to use because maybe they're too competitive or there's not enough search volume. But the idea is we want to be able to provide that information back to you and provide you again with keywords that can really benefit your account. And then after that, we want to, of course, get proper tracking. So this is what I talked about, conversions. So every single website should have Google Analytics for, right? That's the bare minimum that tells you how many users you're getting to your site, where those users are coming from, how long you're spending on your website, right? Very basic information that everyone should, of course, should be tracking. If you don't have GA4, we'll set that up for you. Google Tag Manager, it's another thing that every website should have. So GTM stands for Google Tag Manager, as I mentioned. What it does is that we can create custom conversions in Google Tag Manager, which then are uploaded or imported to GA4, which then are imported to Google Ad Grants. So what kind of conversions? Again, if somebody's subscribing to your newsletter, if someone's clicking on a specific button, like a donate button, those are things you want to track in GTM that then GA4 can read. So then you can then understand what's going on from a Google grant and organic standpoint. Again, if you don't have these set up, we'll handle this for you. That's not a problem. And of course, everything based on the keywords, the tracking, your goals, then of course you get brand new ads that we'll create and we'll implement our Power Page strategy, whether it's the short versions or the long versions based on Sue's or VisionServe Alliance, blogs and content that we'll be able to provide. Ideally, you always want to have lead gen should be a focus at all times, which is of course increasing just email signups or getting people involved somehow. Traffic is great. Traffic plus emails is even better, right? And that's exactly what we want to focus during the entire time and what we want to do here with the grant. There's a couple things, of course, that we'll do after the first 30 days. There's some of the works from creating new Power Page ads and just a couple things. Of course, you'll be able to read this once you get the proposal. But I wanted to highlight just four things that are pretty important. So just because you have a Google grant, it doesn't mean that you won't be kicked from the program if you're not doing maintaining their minimum requirements. So of course, we're keeping you compliant. Anytime we're really making changes, we're going to give you an update. Every account, it is mandatory. So Google's going to verify all paid accounts and even Google Grant accounts. So we'll take care of this for you. And of course, we strive to complete updates in just a matter of days. So typically, 2 to 3 business days, we're trying to create the ads, launch everything when everything is ready.
Yeah. And what's great working with Carlos is, for example, we just in June had Vision Rehabilitation Week. So we were able to quickly pause, some of our other ads and move some of our spending over to that. And then as soon as that ended, because we coordinate with Carlos, then our campaigns reverted back to the ones that we had been running before that. So, there's a lot of flexibility and kind of, they can do things quickly. So you can implement a lot of different strategies on an ongoing basis.
Yep, exactly. So then another thing, of course, we're including is real-time online dashboards. So once you get this proposal link, you'll be able to just click on that view dashboard and see exactly what your dashboard will look like. This is just, of course, a demo or dummy data. It's not real, but you'll be able to see everything there. It gives you kind of your high-level overview, which is just like your spend, your impressions, which means how many times someone has clicked on your ad or how many times your ad has been seen. And then can get very granular from what age group are clicking on your ads, their income level, what city, what states. So it can get very, very specific. So you can spend 10 seconds on it, or you can spend half an hour to an hour looking at the data. There's a lot of there in there depending just how much data you want to analyze. Other things we of course offer now for clients that are utilizing the Google Grant, and they've been utilizing this for quite a long time, and they want to do more like custom pages or CRO, then there's a great option. But typically, most starting out don't usually use CRO and custom landing pages. Again, this is typically something we do for accounts that have been on, doing grants for quite a few years, just because there's enough data there to back, the strategy. So here's our prices based on, again, the discounts. So our original price is $500 a month for this. It is being discounted to $350. So you can either get, we'll manage the $10,000 or $40,000 grant. So the $40,000 is called the Google Grants Pro. It's no longer active, it is active, but it's no longer available for new recipients. So if you have a $40,000 Grant Pro, we can manage it for the same price. So it's 1 or 2 Power Page frameworks per month. Again, the monthly account reports, GA4 and GTM setup, recurring monthly strategy calls. So this is after those weekly calls, as I recalled or said earlier. Unlimited campaigns, ads, and keywords. So the vast majority of our clients start here at the full management, and based on needs and performance, of course, they may upgrade. But ultimately, here's where the vast majority are going to stay. If you're looking for maybe a few more Power Pages, or if you do have that Microsoft, Yahoo, Bing ad grant, then this plan here in the middle might make more sense. But otherwise, the best value is really going to be from your full management. And again, unless you just need more Power Pages because you have a ton of content ready to go, or you're trying to move a little bit faster, or again, you already have the Yahoo Bing. This last price here is including this CRO that I referred to. And again, that's more for clients or nonprofits that have been doing this for quite a long time. They've been maxing out for years or at least a couple of years to really maximize. But once you also get this, of course, this proposal link, you have a few other FAQs. So the idea is that eventually you're going to get to a point where you're going to reach peak performance. That it's kind of different for everyone. So peak might mean for you, you're spending the full 10K, or if you're local, maybe you're spending, half of that or a quarter of that. But once you get to whatever peak performance you want to get to, then the idea is that because you can't keep spending more, there's only so much you can do once your quality scores are doing well. We do something called the maintenance plan. So maintenance plan for us, it's if you're paying $500, it's $300 a month. You're still getting 30% off that. So let's $120 off or so. So you can still benefit from the Google grant, a much significant lower price through the maintenance plan. So typically we see clients go into maintenance maybe 6 to 12 months after they start the grant. And again, depending where you're comfortable. Some just want to generate traffic. Some want to generate traffic and emails, which might take them a little bit longer, maybe a year and a half to 2 years. So it's really depending there. But again, the goal is for everyone to go to a maintenance plan so that you can benefit from the Google grant, get all the traffic, get all the power pages, get everything you need at a much lower cost, so that you can just start becoming more ROI positive from the traffic that you're getting.
No.
Um,
And something else I'll say is, as
yeah,
Carlos had mentioned, some agencies, depending upon their goals, may not spend all $10,000 on local campaigns or regional campaigns. So VisionServe Alliance will also be providing national campaigns. They're
right,
completely optional, but should you wish to use those national campaigns to generate awareness of vision rehabilitation services more generally, we can provide you with those campaigns to help you get closer to that $10,000. The traffic would all still go to your website and the benefit would still inure to you, but that's another way of increasing your spending for your grant. And Carlos can help you implement those.
right. Yeah, and that's pretty much it as far as the proposal and the demo for Power Pages. I'm sure we can open up here the Q&A. If anyone has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Yeah, please let us know. And of course, you can always email us. You can email me or Helen any questions that you might have after this presentation.
Oh, I did forget to mention that all prices do come with a 3-month agreement, and after that, it has a 60-day cancellation notice. So it's a very short-term agreement. You're not locked into a year or 2 years. So again, 3-month agreement with a 60-day cancellation notice. So very low risk. So you can try this out and see how it goes for you. Again, that would be the agreement or the term.
Yeah, and Carlos, Blue Tusk, as a service to VisionServe Alliance, if you don't yet have a grant, they will
Right.
apply for a grant for you at no cost. So if you're at that stage where you don't yet have a grant, we'll do that for you at no cost. And then once you get the grant, you can decide how you wish to proceed. So I do have one question. How can Google Ads help us if our agency is always at the top of the search returns? So
Yeah, so I'm assuming you're meaning your nonprofit's already doing really well from an SEO standpoint. So I guess the question would be, depending how many keywords you're currently going after, um, you know, if you're ranking for all of them, if they're branded, then that's pretty easy. But if you're trying to go after unbranded keywords, right, that's another way that Google Grant can help you. So go after brand new keywords. If you're already ranking for these keywords that are non-branded, then all you're going to do is corner the market even better. So if there's a specific keyword and you're showing up organically, you're showing up once. Well, what's better than showing up once on a search result page is showing up twice.
yeah.
So we know that 1 out of every 3 people click on a Google ad. So now you can of course get organically and get paid ads. So now you can show up twice for the same keywords that are important to you, as opposed to once. So it would be a huge benefit. You would actually see a very high increase in conversions from that, because then you can start taking more traffic from other nonprofits. So that's even more of a reason I think that the Google Grant can really help you there.
And again, as Carlos said before, we will be launching the blog in August. So we'll be providing you with 2 power pages, those extended power pages that you can use. And then again, Carlos will provide support on additional, if you work with him, additional power pages. And again, over time, we currently use just a few power pages for many of our campaigns. They can be very effective, and you can keep generating traffic with some of those similar high performance keywords. So once you find the ones that work for you, that can be very effective. Okay, thank you everyone for joining us. We will be sending out this presentation, the recording of it, and then we'll be available to answer any questions. My email is sstrati. I'll put it in the chat at VisionServe Alliance. So feel free to email me directly, or you can reach out to Helen. And then we do have a form you can complete. If you do want to start participating in any of these programs, that's either the blog, it's acquiring a new Google grant, or connecting with Carlos to manage a Google grant. So any or all of those things are available to you as members. And over time, we would love you to let us know if there are other marketing benefits that are helpful to you to help you continue to build your business, your organization. Thanks again for joining us today, everyone. Have a
Thank
great
you.
afternoon.